And they are missing the point completely, because yes, great stuff can come from India, and EPAT is definitely one of them. And I want to reiterate, even though it is QuantInsti based in India, I mean, the faculty, the lecturers, they are from all over the world. I heard guys from Singapore, I heard guys from America, I heard guys from Germany, I think, actually. Yes, of course, Yves Hilpisch. And that's it. I mean, it is a true world-class course, because the faculty is world class. I mean, the guy from machine learning was calling from America, and we had to wake up earlier because it was too late for him, and so on. So I want to, that is also a great thing about EPAT, which I want to warn anyone who sees it for the first time. It might come that impression, which is totally wrong. My name is Gustavo, and if the name didn't give away already, I actually come from Brazil, from Latin America. That's where I was born. I live in South Africa because my mother is South African, and that was already a big thing in my life. I moved here in 1998. When you spoke about me having lots of work experience, I would actually maybe fine-tune it and define it as life experience, because life took me on an incredible journey, which obviously I can thank God for. And it started obviously with my childhood and my adolescence in Brazil and my university times. I studied physics in Brazil, and I did a master's in quantum mechanics, simply because I love the objective side of science, the mathematics of it, and all things that go with it. And that later on was a strong influence on my path towards algorithmic trading. So yes, I moved to South Africa in '98, and at that time I was also teaching computer animation, of all things. And when I came to South Africa, I started a computer animation school. I obviously had my physics background, but I did not use it at that time. And while I was managing that school and also giving some computer animation courses, I came across into trading first on a discretionary way, right, where you actually have to sit down and yourself devise and implement strategies that rely on you, not on the computer. Which, okay, I mean, you have the thrills of trading, you have to understand fundamentals and obviously technical analysis and all that, but it's all dependent on you, on your availability, on your expertise and attention to identify opportunities. And then I discovered algorithmic trading, where you actually can program a computer to not only execute your strategies, but even to develop strategies before that, with this very strong statistical analysis that you can give to it. And that was amazing for me, because I always loved programming, which was from my physics times. I mean, I had to learn Fortran. I really think maybe 2% of the audience will know what Fortran actually is. It was a special programming language for physical and mathematical programs, if you want to say. So yes, so there was I jumping into this field where you have programming, computers. I mean, my class at varsity was the first class where we did not need to use punch cards, right? So I'm talking a good number of years ago, and by the way, I'm 51 now. So yes, lots of life experience. And yes, algorithmic trading was a combination of programming, was a combination of mathematics and statistics, which comes from my physics background, which I enjoy, and also the thrills and the challenges and the, what's the best word actually? The challenge, but challenge not in being something difficult, but it being something there for you to actually overcome with eagerness of developing a successful strategy and navigating the markets in a successful way. So yes, I suppose that is in a nutshell what my life is and how I actually got into algorithmic trading. So teaching has always been my passion. I mean, I love teaching, the ability of sharing knowledge and experiencing again the joy of learning something, because obviously when you teach somebody, you again join that person in the journey of learning and discovering, and yes, the joy of having a deeper understanding. I mean, and yes, I come from a physics background, and I love physics and mathematics, but I also have a very strong spirituality. I'm Catholic, so I also teach religious education, and for me that is a completely different avenue, which is also very exciting because it can involve metaphysics and philosophy and theology, and also obviously morals, and the whole idea of being a better person and take your nature to its full potential, which is not just with your mind, but is also with your heart. So right at the moment, I mean, I closed down my animation training center. Then right at the moment, I'm just teaching I have two boys aged 8 and 10, and I'm teaching religious education at their school. They are in a Catholic school. So that's
great. I'm really happy to hear that, Gustavo, and I'm just happy to see that, all of this experience that you've gained over the years, I'm sure the kids will be able to learn a lot from you.
Yes, I mean, I throw in physics again. I talk about the Big Bang, and I talk about chemical reactions, and I talk about language and abstract ideas, that mathematics is an abstract field, and so on. So it is fun because you kind of secretize everything. If you have this broad approach, you actually see that it's not separate compartments. They all actually are part of one big whole thing. Well, I mean, it was the introduction to discretionary trading, and after that, the realization that actually you can actually use computers for that, to develop strategies and to implement the strategies and to manage strategies. And that opens a whole new aspect because you can process so much more data with computers, and then the statistics side becomes important. Validation of your model, stress testing to see if it actually works on different regimes, if you're going to put it that way. So that's what really brought my interest, because there's mathematics, there's statistics, there's programming, and there's data. I mean, you need to analyze and prepare the data. So I love numbers. So it's numbers all over the show. Again, it's life just taking you in a direction. By accident, discovered discretionary trading, and then obviously you're on your own trying to learn and buy a book or another. I mean, check on the internet, videos and stuff like that. But you're on your own. But I felt I would like to formalize that in a way. And funny enough, the first thing that's actually I got in touch with is with the World Quant Master's degree in financial engineering, which is related, which involves algorithmic trading, but involves so much more also. And it's also more of a theoretical university approach, which is what I was used to. And before jumping into it, because it's quite a commitment of time and effort, I noticed that there was one a previous alumni of that course who was South African. So I connected with him, I chatted to him, and then I saw through him that he did EPAT. And that's how I got to know about EPAT. And immediately I could identify the strength of both avenues, because I, being from an academic side, I liked the theoretical side, and then I knew that I would get a very strong academic, albeit maybe not hands-on practical side, which I was okay with the World Quant University. But then the EPAT would be the key to complement that, because the EPAT, even though it has a necessary theory to be able to implement algorithmic trading, it's also so much hands-on, so practical, and you get in touch with industry people that share their experiences and their their knowledge of real world. I mean, the guy is on the ground there. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do the Masters in Financial Engineering, and then I will do EPAT. So that's actually how I got involved with EPAT, thanks to Jacques Schubert, who actually appears in one of your success stories also. So He's currently in the UK. He immigrated to the UK. And it's funny because I just caught him maybe 3-4 months before he immigrated, and I met him once or twice. So that was again the luck of life. Yeah, I mean, I asked him lots of questions about both, and that's how I was able to have that precise picture of what would be the benefits of doing the Masters in Financial Engineering and what would be the benefits of doing EPAT. They are definitely not redundant. They are not opposite. I mean, they are so complementing. Obviously, if you like an academic background, I mean, if you don't like hands-on practical stuff, then do the Masters. I mean, but if you only like the practical stuff, just do the EPAT. I really liked and enjoyed and benefited from both sides. Look, I think any field that you want to learn, you can get into the deep hole, and down there things will be always challenging no matter where you come from. So I would say that the Masters in Financial Engineering helped me a lot in terms of general concepts, and there was a bit of programming there also, but also very academic. But it was great in the sense of building that foundation from which I was able to build up the blocks that EPAT offered me. So I would say that I found the EPAT extremely challenging, but I think only because I already had all that foundation from the Masters. I mean, it was a 2-year affair, right? So, and involved not only algorithmic trading, but more basics of financial theory, models, and the buyer side of the market, the seller side of the market, history also about the financial markets and jargons and all that. But again, EPAT offers you the algorithmic trading in a very broad and complete way. It talks of high frequency trading, it talks about mid frequency, low frequency. It teaches with Python how to develop strategies, analyze and implement, the connection with platforms on the background. All these things I didn't really have on the Masters, and they do require an effort from your side. I mean, again, it gets as difficult as how much you put into it. I mean, if your body just wants to skim it, okay, you can skim it, but it's not going to be difficult, but how much you're going to be taking out. But I can warn you that the proctored exam, it's no joke. You need to prepare yourself for it. So that was very interesting to do the proctored exam. It was different because, I mean, normally you have the aid of open book exams, which can be difficult, but if you know, you've studied, you have this stuff accessible, you can go there and look, yeah, it must be somewhere here. You find it and you solve it, and that's it. But when it's a proctored exam where you have nothing except your head, and then obviously the Python platform with the help, that's very important to master, because I mean, I'm not a professional programmer. I don't know everything by heart with Python. So just as well, I at least learn how to find the syntax, because I knew I had to use this function or something close to it. And that saved my life quite a bit on the proctored exam. So, but yes, as I was saying, I found the EPAT course very interesting. Challenging, maybe not as challenging, because again, I had that background from the Masters, and maybe not as challenging because I only had 6 months, and each topic obviously has a limited amount of time. But again, if I go deeper into topic, then it will become more and more challenging. And that's the nice thing, because EPAT being so varied, it will offer you several options. And then later on, which is pretty much what I'm doing now, okay, now I want to go deeper into this section. Obviously, machine learning, it's very interesting for me, and it's what I can do on my own here. So that's what I've been. I wish I had more time. Obviously, it's always like that because I'm studying kids, family, and all that. But that is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to go deeper into that. And EPAT was a great start because I never machine learning before EPAT. Again, I had a bit of it in the World Quant course, but it was very theoretical. So I didn't really, develop as much as I did on EPAT. So, look, the risk of studying online is that it could end up becoming just a one-person affair. You have the material posted online, you go log in, check that, read, do the task that you want and submit it, and that's it. And that might not be ideal for some subjects of learning. For others, it might be. But obviously with EPAT, we have all those webinars where you are live with the lecturer and you're able to ask questions. That adds the classic dimension of you sitting in front of a teacher that's teaching you. So I think those webinars are essential for the quality of the EPAT course because they still provide you with access to the lecturer on the spot when you are listening. Sometimes, obviously, because of the time, I was not able to assist to be present in real time, and then I watched the recording. I can already feel how I'm losing with that because, okay, now I want to ask this question, but no, it's a recording, the guy's not there, I want to ask. Obviously, I can send an email to support, which is something I expected to do, but it's different. It's different from asking and the guy immediately answering and maybe pulling out something related, and so on. So for those doing, I really recommend attending in real time. Don't rely on the recordings, otherwise it becomes that one thing, a one-man show again, which is not ideal. So even though it's an online learning platform, oh yes, and by the way, your LMS is also excellent. Your learning management system, your platform, where you have the courses and the material and the access to the webinar. Even those games there, I was looking, am I the first, am I the second one, do I have enough edges?
That's incredible.
That's cool. That is cool. I mean, it gives that competition to it. Oh no, this guy got more points than me. I can't let that happen. I keep receiving those emails, which is a wonderful thing from EPAT also, which is also very strong. I mean, the support, the alumni support is just on par with nothing else that I've seen. How you guys are always in touch with us during the course, and they support the alumni after they finish. I forgot the formal name for it, but I mean, they help you with job offerings around there, that you receive the emails, and if it suits you, if it's interesting, you can apply. I mean, those are great things, which are definitely a plus for EPAT. I mean, let's be honest. I think for maybe half the world to see that EPAT is a school from India. Please, I don't want to be judgmental at all, but I wasn't, right? But I know there will be people that look at it and come on. It's almost like what, who said, it was Thomas. I think Thomas said about Jesus. I mean, can anything good come from Nazareth? That was his expression, and he was talking about Jesus. So some people might turn and say, oh, come on, can anything good come from India? I mean, let me go to America, let me go to Germany and look for a nice course and whatever. And they are missing the point completely, because yes, great stuff can come from India, and EPAT is definitely one of them. And I want to reiterate, even though it is QuantInsti based in India, I mean, the faculty, the lecturers, they are from all over the world. I heard guys from Singapore, I heard guys from America, I heard guys from Germany, I think actually. Yes, of course, Yves Hilpisch. And that's it. I mean, it is a true world-class course, because the faculty is world-class. I mean, the guy from machine learning was calling from America, and we had to wake up earlier because it was too late for him, and so on. So I want to, that is also a great thing about EPAT, which I want to warn anyone who sees it for the first time. It might come that impression, which is totally wrong, totally wrong. and that for me was a great thing. I mean, I'm still in touch with these people after. I mean, the guy who Sinclair, I think, what's his name? The guy from options, and there's
Dr. Yuan Sinclair.
That's right, exactly. So he gave an excellent course on options, which was very enlightening for me. Options was always a bit of a mystery for me, but it came much more clear. And obviously, E.P. Shan, I mean, he is an authority in terms of machine learning, and he came with futures, and which I've never touched before. So, and yeah, I mean, contango, what is contango? I mean, I've heard of it. And backwardation, I mean, all those weird names. And yeah, I mean, you get all of that firsthand from the masters, in a sense. So, yeah, so that is something that I'd like to highlight, how it is really a world-class course. So don't get yourself cheated by that idea. What good can come from India? Or I would say that there is one element which you have full control of, and one element that you have no control of. I mean, attending the EPAT course, I promise you, I mean, if you put yourself into it and you apply yourself, that is a success story. You're gonna learn it, you're gonna know what's all about it, and you will have all the tools that you will need to actually become an algorithmic trader. That is the thing that I can promise you, that you have full control of, because it just depends on you. The stuff is there, and it's up to you to make the best of it. The second thing is really, it's like life. I mean, how can you be a successful algorithmic trader? I mean, that's not for everybody. Like marathonists are not for everybody. I mean, there's only one first place. There can't be 2 or 3 or 10 first place. There's only one first place and one second place. So in algorithmic trader, when you are there, that's the challenge of developing strategies and applying all that you learned. And that's the trio of it, right? I mean, you would definitely you'll be much more equipped to become successful. And your level of success, again, will depend on your level of applying yourself. And sometimes it will be more or it will be less, but there's no reason why it shouldn't be. It's not easy. I can promise you that. It's not, I don't know what would be a good expression in English. I mean, but it's not, you're going to be rich next day. I mean, it's not even maybe about that, but you should definitely be able to make an honest living of it. Like you make an honest living of another profession, whether on your own or whether in a company. But that's, again, you have no control of. I mean, I can't promise you that. But I can promise you what I said before, that doing a course like EPAT, you have all the tools that you need to actually live it and be ready to pursue the second challenge, which is the one you don't have control of, which is to be a successful, a consistent trader. Let's put it that way. Consistently profitable. That's the magic word.